What's going on, guys? My name's Ridge, and this is Rob. Together, we are the Collectors. This is How to Start Collecting Video Series Episode 2, meant for those that are just getting into Pokemon or maybe people who used to collect and want to get back into it, but kind of don't know where to start. And I just want to put out a little PSA. In no way, shape, or form are we experts, professionals. These are mostly just opinions and suggestions based off our experiences while we've been in the hobby and trying to help you guys avoid any mistakes that we may have made when we first jumped in. Before we get into this episode, if you guys could subscribe to the channel below, like this video, it would really mean a lot to both of us. We've been putting in a lot of work on this to try and help you guys out and bring you as much value as we can. But we do want to thank you for all the support we've gotten so far. It's been incredible. So let's get into how to start collecting. This week we're going to discuss familiarizing yourself with different card aspects and the layouts of the cards. Rob, you want to start us off?
Yes, so number one in all this is learning the card aspects. Understand the Pokemon card setup. So we got the name, we got the HP. This will all be on the screen. So we got the name, HP, then we got ability, then we got the stages, and all of those things. So we're gonna go over, how a card is set up, and then type energy, and then where the Pokemon or trainer name will be, and then the card number and the set the card is from. All right, so right here we have a Charizard, and we're going to go over the places you're going to look for to figure out all of those details I just said. So we're going to have the name, we're going to have the HP, we're going to have the ability, we're going to have the set number, and then we're going to have the set symbol. And I believe that is it. So what do you gain from that all on this card? So with our Charizard here, we have the name Charizard. It's a stage 2 Pokemon, so that's only familiar in the competitive aspect of the TCG. Then we have the HP, competitive aspect. And then we have the set symbol, which is in usually the bottom right corner. And that is going to have a unique symbol for that specific set. So Darkness Ablaze is going to have its own symbol. Neo Destiny, they're all going to have their set symbol. Then there's going to be a number. It's going to have 101 out of 120. That is the 101st card out of 120 cards in that set. And then in this card, we have a first edition symbol that is pretty much only in the vintage base set, the first edition one, and that one is going to have a little first edition in the bottom left. So if we take all that into consideration, we can find the card. We can take all these things and search it online, and then you can find that it's a very specific card. So Ridge, you want to go over number 2?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the differences in card variations. And by that, I mean you can have a Charizard, for example, since you started off with that as an example, we'll just use that as the card all the way through this episode. You can have like Rob was talking about, first edition Charizard. So the difference in that, we'll have the card up here. It's going to have that little first edition stamp on the bottom left corner of the picture of Charizard. And on the right side of the picture of Charizard, there's going to be no shadow on that picture, and where the set symbols will go for every other set, there will not be one, because base was the first set Pokemon dropped, so there was no need for a symbol, because there was no need to differentiate it from any other set. So that's basically why they made set symbols, so you could see where those cards were coming from what set. So first edition, again, just to reiterate, we'll have the first edition symbol in the bottom left corner next to the Charizard picture, and the right side of the box, in fact the whole entire box, will have no shadow on it. So that's first edition. That's going to be worth the most amount of money. That's a variation, and it is the first Charizard card. That's why it's worth so much money. So what happened was, when the base set dropped, it did so well that they reprinted all of the base set cards. But this time, to differentiate from the first printings, from the second printings, they eliminated the first edition stamp. So that's going to create the same exact card minus the first edition stamp is what creates a shadowless card, a shadowless base set. So the difference in first edition and shadowless, other than that first edition stamp, is price, and there's a big drop off between that. And the reason for that is because people want the first of a card. So the first wave is symbolized by that first edition stamp, whereas the shadowless was the second wave. It's still valuable, but there's a difference. So that's why we want to bring this up so you guys can educate yourself on things like that. So you don't buy a card that you think is a first edition worth the premium price, but it's really a shadowless, which is still worth something but less. And then lastly, there's unlimited, which was the third wave. So this time, they still don't have the stamp like Shadowless, but this time instead on the right side of the Charizard picture, they added a little shadow. And we'll point this out up here on an example of a shadow, I mean, a unlimited Charizard card. So that was the third wave. And again, the difference is a price drop from Shadowless. So it's important to learn these things, and it's along the hobby. A lot of what I just talked about really only happens in base set, but as you move on, there are going to be alternate arts. Um, there will be misprints. There will be, like, for example, there's a Cinderace that has a return energy of one, which is a mistake. And it's really supposed to have two energy to retreat it. And that goes back to the TCG. But little things about those card variations make price differentials uh, across the hobby and as far as collecting. So it's really important that you just educate yourself on this. So that you don't end up buying a card for the wrong price.
So I'm going to go into the rarities of the card. The rarity is signified by a symbol in the bottom right or left corner, I believe. And the common is a circle, an uncommon is a diamond, a rare is a star. And then going from there, there are specialty cards, and there are EXs, GXs, tag teams, Vs, VMAXs. Those are all signified by what is in the title of the card. So it could be Charizard V, which I'll show here, and then a GX, Charizard GX. We're just going to use Charizard because everyone knows Charizard. We're
Yeah, you
going to
might
use,
as well just throw up the EX, GX, Tag Team V,
yep.
and VMAX of Charizard.
We're going to put them all up on the screen just so you know. I'm going to put a circle around all of this signifying little details that show that. But each era had its own specialty card. So EX, and then there was a gap, and then there were more EXs. The difference between those two are the art styles, and then there was GXs, which are just special, art styles. They tend to be a full art type art style, and then there's a tag team that has two Pokemon on it, tend to be a GX as well. There's V's that are just another specialty card of Sword and Shield. So we got Charizard V, and then we get the Charizard V Max. The difference is one is just a regular, V, different art style, and then the V Max is the evolution of that card in the TCG, and it's just more powerful. And they're usually harder to pull in the packs. So those are going to be the top tier of the rarities, pretty much, those specialty cards. Then we got hollows, non-hollow rares, reverse hollows, and then so on.
Yeah, so from there, commons, uncommons, rares, reverse hollows, really important to just understand because there's a price difference when you go from a VMAX, which is a chase card, because of the art and how nice that card looks, to a common card. And a lot has to do with pull rates on that. They call it common because that's the bulk card. You're gonna pull a lot of those in the sets, whereas you're very rarely gonna pull a Pikachu VMAX. So rarity then goes into how much there is of that card, which then goes into how much that card is going to be. So that's why that stuff's important. And then while you're researching all of this, side note, this isn't all of the information. There's a bunch more out there. There's amazing rares, so on and so forth. We're just trying to push you in the right direction, give you a good general understanding, and then handing the torch off to you to go off and do your own research and really dig much deeper than what we're just scratching the surface when we're doing these little bullet points. But while you go and dive in deep, which Rob's going to tell you after I finish rambling, how to really educate yourself and find these things that we're talking about and research the cards. While you're digging deep into that, keep in mind what art variations are sticking out to you, which sets really pop off the screen, and you're really building a connection with, hey, I really like this set a lot because it has a bunch of full art trainers in it. Just keep that in mind while you're doing the research, because then it'll be an easy thing for you to collect into while you're liking it, and there's a good chance that other people feel the same way as you, and there's value in that.
So the next one, our fifth point would be how to do all of this, how to figure out these cards, what they look like, everything like that. So our first bullet point is going to be look up the set lists. So on Google, type in Ultra Prism set list. It's going to be the top one I use is Pokey Collector, I believe it is. You go on there and it lists every single card that's in that set. So you got your full arts, you got your full art Lily, you got your full art Lookout, you got your ultra rares all at the bottom. So pretty much what it is it starts commons, 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 uncommons, reverses, hollows, rares, whatever, and then it gets to the rainbow rares, it gets to the V maxes and all those, ultra rare cards. Um, and another thing you can do is go on YouTube and watch some pack openings. Read the room. So if the person opening the cards pulls a card and they're freaking out, it's an ultra rare. And if you see a card that you really really like and it's cool, it's unique, it's probably a lot of other people are probably gonna say, "Wow, that card is unique and cool." So find your favorites, find ones that stick out to you, like Rich said, and keep an eye on them. And then also try to go into the card list and find them, click on them, see their prices, and go from there. And YouTube and Google are your friends. So type, like we said, type in the name of the card, type in the set, and then type in the numbered, the 101 out of 120. Type that in with the name of the card. You'll find that card right away because it's specific to that card. Other than that, there's so much more we can do. If we missed anything and you are, you have any questions, definitely put them in the comments below, and we'll make another video like this and we'll explain more. But that's just scratching the surface. There's so much to this hobby, and we're just trying to, like Rich said, push you in the right direction, and get you thinking about certain things that it's hard to figure out. You need someone else to tell you. So with that said, like I said, put your thoughts into the comments and let us know if we missed anything.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely look up those set lists, guys. Even if you want to like type into YouTube, for example, what are the best sets to buy right now? Go ahead, go down that rabbit hole. Doesn't mean necessarily do whatever that YouTuber is saying, but they're going to give you reasons why they think that's the best set, and it's just going to inform you a little bit more. Hey, Vivid Voltage, that's the set with the big chunky chew that everybody's going for that has a very low population, and so that's why this is really for people that are just getting started. So if you know all of this already, this might not be the series for you. I would definitely say check out our regular podcast where we're really diving into the depths of the hobby, and dropping more information for people that are more versed within Pokemon. But I hope that this helped you out. Rob already let you know we're more than willing to help you guys out. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to hit us up, whether it's here on YouTube, whether it's on TikTok, or on Instagram. It's all at the Collectors. We're trying to push out as much helpful content as we can. But until then, I'm Ridge. This is Rob. Together we make the Collectors, and we'll be signing off. We'll see you next Wednesday for another episode.